Stud. Stud. Okay guys, you will see my carburetor setup if you've seen that video already, or if that video is still to come. I'm not sure how this will come through. Depends on how long that's going to take, but I'm in the middle of that right now. But need to take a break for another project. I went and picked up a bunch of parts from a wrecked Jeep that was T-boned, got soft top, missing a couple of the bars, got some trail doors, and some extra parts, cold air intake, extra filters, stuff like that. So, I was going for the seats because I want to build that back seat in my TJ. So I've got a matching seat now from a wrecked TJ of a very similar year. But that also meant I ended up with, well, let me spin this around and show you. I got this TJ grill, and it is a little bit tweaked. That's not just the box. You might be able to see it here, maybe not. It is a little bit tweaked from the accident. It's flat on this side and not on that. But it's not going to matter because what we're doing with this is not going back on a Jeep. Essentially, I'm going to sand this down. We are going to paint this hopefully as close to the red of the accidental TJ of our son's, or CJ, accidental CJ, as close to the red of our son's CJ. Now, this is from a TJ. But we're working with what we've got. So we're going to paint it that red, going to set up some wood around it as a shelf, and then put in some LEDs behind the grill slats, behind here, facing back. I'm not quite 100% sure what I'm going to do with the headlight buckets yet. May eventually even mount headlight buckets back in and throw in something if I find a good headlight that's not actually bright headlights, but maybe just something for decoration. I might do that. I don't know. Or I might end up cutting those back supports out once it's all mounted anyway. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I am going to cut to the chase. Okay, now if I really wanted to make this nice, I would be sanding as well. I'm not going to. What I am going to do is just stick with that little bit of scuffing, peel off any paint chips there might be. I haven't seen any. It's got a little bit of rust in there. Part of my garage. It's always a mess. But I guess next step is I'm going to start painting. I'm not trying to get this perfect. This is literally a wall decoration in a toddler's room. I imagine over the years he is going to want to change colors. Maybe he'll want it Raptor lined to match his dad's Jeep. We've talked about it. We didn't know really what to do. So, wife and I just decided we will, for now, just kind of paint it a color. Sorry, I'm watching more where I'm working and not where the camera's going. So it's just going to be a quick paint job to make it red. Okay, sorry guys, I did not hold the camera while doing that. I was trying to hold the board and the saw and make a semi-decent cut. It's not perfect. It'd have been better if I'd have used cardboard and cut to shape and then marked it out. But again, this is a quick project. It's something we can always fix up and upgrade later. For now, I'm going to grab the sander and clean up all these edges. Maybe try and make it a little more uniform. Right now, the most part is that this isn't going to be quite super visible. The goal is that this is mounted to the back of the grill, so really you're just seeing it through the grill. And hopefully, I cut a little extra small, so hopefully you don't even see it around the edges. That is cut. It's pretty close to shape. Obviously, you can tell this line does not match this line. once this is dry, I will go in and make sure that nothing shows, and I may have to recut some of that, who knows. As long as it's all hidden behind the thing, I don't care. I'm going to let this dry. Right now it's getting to the tacky point, so I don't think I'm going to get another chance here. Maybe one more chance tonight to do some painting, and then hopefully tomorrow I get a little time to paint. Okay, so paint is dried, and what I'm going to do is run these flexible LED strip lights, just cheap stuff off of Amazon, and I'm going to try and run them up and down in behind here around the headlights and basically have it glow back toward the wall. Now you'll see some of this stuff. I didn't really get too much with the paint. Not too worried about that because that's going to be the side that's back toward the wall, as I said. Paint didn't turn out great on the front. I had some spots that ended up rough, and I wasn't taking the time to sand and clean it up. So not great gloss, but again, this is a quick, cheap project. So we'll see where this goes. I'll try and see if I can get some video of the installation. Open up the box. We've got a remote with lots of different stuff. We've got these on our stairs actually because there are no lights in our stairs and just a plug at the bottom, so we plugged them in at the bottom, and we just leave it on, I think, white all the time, full brightness. Super nice because they light up the whole staircase and they just run up and down the ceiling along there. But these are going to be different. They'll probably be set to like maybe red most of the time, since this is red, and it'll be a nice dark glow on dim, almost as a nightlight, hopefully. Okay, here's a small idea of what the thing's going to look like. I think we'll stick to red most often because that looks pretty neat, but if I went to, say, white, it does that. The camera's not doing it justice because it is trying to focus. Let me see about that. There we go. But that is all the way bright. I can go down in dimness. Obviously up here, this backing sheet is not mounted in place right now. I just kind of set it on there. So that is, I think, half of one of my two coils. So I may only end up using one coil. We'll see. Okay, so I've got the one side in as I showed you just now. I'm trying to get the other side in. The instructions say don't bend at the LED light. So try not to do that. Some of the bending is kind of hard. Some of this working in these corners is kind of difficult because I'm trying to do so many bends. If you were just doing this on a, around a square table or something, it wouldn't be half bad. Because you only have a few 90-degree bends. They actually include some little clips that you can use to strengthen at 90s, which I'm not using because, as you can see, it's just kind of winding everywhere here. Trying to make sure that, left and right, they look kind of at least somewhat similar, so I don't want to say cut this over here and then what I've got set up over here doesn't match what I've got set up over there. So there are specific cutting points though. You can see one right here. Right here. And you only cut on those lines or else the whole thing shorts out. So that does limit a little bit where you can cut. But overall, these are pretty handy lights. So I'm going to finish this up, and then the next step will be mounting the shelf to it, or mounting it to the shelf. Okay, so this is kind of what the plan is. I've got the shelf set up. Now I just need to mount the grill and backboard to the shelf itself. The legs are installed. This is the final step, and then I hang it on the wall. But you'll notice that we got some anchors here. I've got down here between my two brackets. Now those brackets have the mounting in them. Between those brackets is not the right spacing for studs. So I'm using anchors, but these anchors are rated at 45 pounds a piece. I just measured this whole assembly. It's only about just under 25 pounds. So that leaves us, like 65 pounds. No. 90, 25. Yeah. So like 65 pounds that we could put on the shelf, which obviously we're not going to do that. Our boy right now is only about 35 pounds. So even if he were to hang on it, we should be good. But let's hope he doesn't do that. I'm not looking forward to that. Now, as for the top tread here, or the shelf itself, I just used a stair tread, honestly. It already had the front edge beveled. I didn't want to go around messing around, pulling out the router and doing that. These two brackets came pre-cut. So this was super easy. Really, the only wood I had to cut was that plywood on the back. I used 1/4-inch plywood. And since this grill is tweaked from the accident, it's actually kind of nice that it was 1/4-inch plywood, because that means it formed to the twist pretty well. And once it's like this, you can't see the twist too much. If I get it hung on the wall and look up from underneath, you'll be able to see it pretty easy. We'll see if I get that shot or not. But let's get her hung up and see how she looks. Okay, so here's the finished work. Interestingly enough, this bed is as old as I am. This is the bed that I grew up in, and now it's our boys. And here, we'll probably set this light to red at night, because red is less obtrusive. Kind of like, I think that was, there's the red. But red, and then we can dim it down too. There's a full controller here. And we'll just keep it up here. You can set custom through these buttons here. You can have it fade or jump like this. So jump is all sorts of fun for a kid. Probably at night we'll go to red and then dim it way down, so it's just a little bit of a night light. But overall, this is the new shelf for his room. I've got power cords kind of stripped with anti-toddler guards here. That other line there is for our outlet. It's like a camera, baby monitor thing. It's been kind of a pain in the butt. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm sure there's better stuff out there, but it seems to work for the most part. That is, I believe, the microphone and temperature sensor, humidity sensor. It tells us all that stuff, so it can like kind of keep an eye on his room for us, which is kind of nice. But strangely enough, it picks up sound better from cars outside than when he's standing right in front of it talking at it. Same with motion. Any little motion that is not him, it'll sense, but when he's right in front of it, it doesn't see him. Other than that, though, if like I'm at work, that thing's Wi-Fi. I can be at work and I can bring it up and like, hey, he's up. So that's kind of nice. But I think I'm gonna clean up my drill here and get the old nightlight off the floor, and we'll introduce him into it and see what he thinks. I'm not getting that on film right now. He is still technically in the foster system, so I can't have his name or image on any kind of public forum. So that is why he's the boy. But hope y'all enjoyed this. This was a super simple project. It took me, other than the painting, it took me maybe 2 hours, and that's because I was just taking my time. Those screws that I used with the anchors were actually a little too large of heads for the brackets, the hangers that came on these. So I had to kind of grind them down a little bit, but that's just because I was trying to go overkill. We've got a very active boy, and I don't know that he's not going to try and grab this and yank it down. So we wanted to make sure there's lots of extra stability in this. Now, they actually did have 2 holes in the bracket, so I could have doubled up and had 180 pounds holding weight, but I don't think that's necessary for the moment. So thanks for watching, y'all. The Lord bless you and keep you. I am still working on that carburetor rebuild. I'm just trying to do it a little bit here and there as I get time. And And time is a valuable commodity to me right now, so you will hopefully see that in a few days. It's still in pieces in my basement. So there's your little update on that. Y'all have a great day. The Lord bless you and keep you. So basically these are just number 8 machine bolts. Used those on the back to mount the backer board to it. And then up top, I don't know if I can get a shot of it. Use wood screws, duck screws, whatever, with washers up there as well. So it's all mounted that way. Super simple build. If I could do this in a short period of time, you can too. Don't be intimidated. Good luck, y'all. Enjoy.